Christmas morning. I'm 25 years old, standing in the doorway of the house I grew up in, both arms so full of gifts that the bags are cutting red lines into my skin. I spent 6 whole months saving for these presents. I skipped girls' trips, ate the same chicken and rice meal prep for weeks, worked overtime every single Saturday, just so I could walk in today and finally feel like I belonged. The house smells exactly like every perfect Christmas memory. Cinnamon rolls fresh from the oven, real pine needles, that vanilla candle mom only lights once a year. The tree is glowing with 1,000 warm lights. Mariah Carey is singing softly in the background. Everyone is already there, aunts, uncles, cousins. Grandma Rose in her red sweater, all circled around the living room like one big happy family. I take the deepest breath I've taken all year, feel my heart pounding with actual joy, and I step inside with the biggest, brightest smile I have ever worn. Merry Christmas, everybody? And nothing. Not one head turns, not one single person looks up. My little sister Chloe, 21, still living at home. Still the golden child is sitting cross-legged in the very center of the living room floor, like she's on a throne made of ripped wrapping paper. She's tearing open present after present, while the entire family cheers like she's on stage at the Grammys. Mom is on her knees filming with 2 phones at once, zooming in on every gift, screaming, "That's the new iPhone 15 Pro Max, baby! And look at that bag, oh my God! It's the one from your Pinterest board." Dad is actually lying on the carpet, helping her rip paper faster, shouting, "That's my princess? Open the big one next." My cousins are screaming. My uncles are whistling. Grandma Rose is clapping so hard her bracelets sound like wind chimes. I stand frozen in the doorway for a full 60 seconds, maybe longer. Snow is melting off my boots onto the mat. The bags are so heavy my fingers are going numb. My coat is still zipped to my chin. And I am completely, heartbreakingly invisible. I feel my smile freeze on my face like ice. My chest starts to hurt in a way I can't name yet. I quietly walk across the room, careful not to make a sound, and set every single beautifully wrapped gift under the tree. Then I walk straight back out the front door, close it softly behind me, and stand on the porch in the freezing cold. I wait. I wait for someone to notice the door opened and closed twice. I wait for someone to wonder where the extra presents came from. I wait for someone to text, "Hey, did you stop by?" The door never opens again. I sit in my car in the driveway for 15 minutes, heater blasting, staring at the house through foggy windows, waiting for even one person to come looking. No one does. That was the exact moment the little girl inside me who always believed. Next year they'll see me, finally shattered into a million pieces. Because in that moment I understood something that broke my heart clean in two to my family. I have never been Emma. I have only ever been the emergency fund that learned how to walk and talk. Please hit that subscribe button right now, so you never miss what happened next, because 2 days later they sent me a $25,000 invoice for Chloe's brand new BMW, and I made sure every single one of them paid that bill for the rest of their lives, without me spending one extra penny. Please subscribe the channel so you never miss the next one. I drop a new revenge story every single week. My name is Emma, and this is the full hour and a half story, the coldest, most perfect, 100% legal revenge you will ever hear. 2 days after Christmas, December 27th, 9:14 a.m. I'm standing in the cereal aisle at Target, still feeling hollow from Christmas morning, trying to treat myself to the good cinnamon granola instead of the store brand flakes I always buy. My phone buzzes in my pocket. Group chat from Mom. I open it expecting maybe a late, "Merry Christmas, sweetie," or at least a picture of Chloe, holding one of the gifts I left under the tree. Instead I get this, "Merry late Christmas, sweetie. We have the best surprise ever for Chloe. Yesterday we bought her absolute dream car, a 2024 white BMW 3 Series with the red leather interior she's been posting about non-stop. Dad and I put down 15,000 cash. Chloe's little modeling gigs covered another 10K, but we're still short exactly 25,000 to pay it off in full and skip all that nasty interest. We know you're doing so amazing at your big fancy job now. Can you just Venmo it by Friday so there's no late fees? We'll all be so grateful and proud of you. Love you bunches and bunches. P.S. Chloe says thank you in advance. You're the best big sister ever. And attached is a crystal, clear scan of an official dealership invoice on letterhead. At the very top, in bold bilto, Emma Thompson amount due $1,000 description Chloe Thompson luxury vehicle family contribution due immediately. The entire store went silent. My phone slipped out of my hand and hit the floor so hard the screen spider webbed. An older lady picking out Cheerios touched my arm and asked, "Honey, are you okay?" I couldn't speak. I laughed, like actually laughed out loud in the middle of Target. And then the tears came so fast and hot that I had to duck behind the Frosted Flakes display so nobody would see me break down. Because exactly 7 days earlier I had walked into a Honda dealership with a bank envelope full of cash and bought myself a used 2019 Civic, paid in full, no loan, no co-signers, nothing. I had been planning to drive it home on New Year's Eve and surprise everyone with the news that I was finally, truly debt-free for the first time in my adult life. Instead, they surprised me with a $25,000 bill for my sister's luxury car. After not even saying my name on Christmas Day, I stood there staring at that invoice for 10 full minutes. People walked around me like I was a statue. My hands were shaking so badly I had to sit on the floor right there in the aisle. And then something inside me changed. Not screaming anger. Not hot tears. Perfect. Ice, cold clarity. I wiped my face with my sleeve, picked up my cracked phone, and typed the calmest message I have ever written in my life. Happy to talk about it when we're all sit down together. I'll be home New Year's Eve with a very special surprise gift for Chloe. Can't wait to celebrate as a family. Mom replied in 3 seconds with heart eye emojis and, "You're an angel!" Dad sent a thumbs up and, "That's my girl." Chloe posted a selfie from inside her new BMW on her story. Tongue out, peace signs, caption, "Biggs is coming through like always." They thought they had won. They thought I was rushing to the bank for a cashier's check. They had 4 days until New Year's Eve, and I used every single hour of those 4 days to build the most beautiful, legal, ice-cold trap you have ever heard of. Part 3 is coming, how I spent years being their personal ATM, and why that invoice was the very last straw. You're not ready for how perfectly this revenge was planned. Let me take you all the way back so you understand why that 25,000 invoice in Target didn't just make me angry, it set me completely free. I was the oldest daughter. In my house that didn't mean big sister. It meant unpaid employee, backup plan, walking savings account. When I was 12, Mom sat me down after dinner and said, "Chloe has real talent. She needs dance classes 3 times a week if she's ever going to make it. You're so good with little kids. Why don't you start babysitting every Friday and Saturday night? It's only a few hours. Family helps family." So I did. While my friends were at movies and sleepovers, I was changing diapers and cleaning up spilled juice for $25 a night so Chloe could wear sparkly costumes and get trophies. At 14, I was mowing lawns before school. At 15, I took the closing shift at a coffee shop until 1 a.m. so the electricity wouldn't get shut off after Dad's $1 million crypto idea disappeared overnight. I'd come home smelling like burnt espresso, do homework on the bus, and still kept straight A's. At 16, the water bill was 3 months behind. Mom was crying in the kitchen. "They're coming to turn it off tomorrow." I handed over every dollar of my birthday money, $463 I had hidden in a sock. Paid it online right there at the table while they hugged me and said, "That's what real family does, Emma." At 18, I had secretly saved $28,000 for college. I was accepted to my dream school with a partial scholarship. One night, Dad came into my room with red eyes and said, "The bank called. Foreclosure papers are coming. "We're losing the house." I wrote the check the same night. They cried, promised on everything they had. "We'll pay you back the second things turn around. You're saving your little sister's home." Things never turned around. Chloe never had a single job. Chloe got new iPhones every September like clockwork. Chloe got designer bags. Just because it's Tuesday. Chloe got a sweet 16 trip to Cancun with 3 friends, while I worked double shifts to help pay for it. If I ever dared ask for new shoes or a winter coat that actually fit, I was told, "Stop being selfish, Emma. Chloe needs these things more." Family helps family. I still fought my way through college on full scholarship plus 3 jobs. I ate ramen 6 nights a week. I cried in library bathrooms when I thought I couldn't do another semester. But I graduated debt-free with honors in finance at 22. By 25 I was making 108,000 plus bonuses at a private wealth firm 2 hours away. I kept my exact address secret. I kept my salary quiet. For almost 3 years I heard almost nothing from them. I told myself, they've changed. They finally grew up. Then Christmas morning proved they never saw me as a daughter. Only as a bank that finally had money in it. That 25,000 invoice wasn't just greedy. It was the final receipt for every childhood birthday I worked through, every prom I skipped to cover the cable bill, every dream I put on hold so Chloe could shine. And in that Target aisle, with tears on my cheeks and a cracked phone in my hand, I made a promise to the little girl I used to be no more. I was done paying for love that only showed up when the total was due. Part 4 is comin'. The 4 days I spent smiling while I built the most perfect, legal trap in history. You're going to love what happened on New Year's Eve. The second I hit send on that comm group. Chat reply. "I'll be home New Year's Eve with a surprise gift for Chloe." My phone lit up like fireworks. Mom heart emojis, kissing faces. "You're an angel!" Dade, thumbs up. "That's my responsible girl." Chloe. Selfie inside the BMW tongued out caption, "Big sis coming through again." They thought I was rushing to the bank. They had 4 days to celebrate. I had 4 days to build the most perfect, 100% legal trap anyone has ever seen. Day 1, the first call, I called the BMW dealership and asked for the exact finance manager who closed Chloe's loan. I gave him the loan number from the invoice they sent me. I was sweet, polite, professional. "Hi, this is Emma Thompson. My parents accidentally added me as a third party on the paperwork. I'd like to pay $25,000 today and have the title transferred 100% into Chloe Thompson's name only, with my parents remaining as co-signers. Can you send me the payoff quote and new title docs right away?" He said. "Absolutely. Miss Thompson will email everything within the hour." Done. Day 2, the second call, I called Sarah, my best friend from college who is now a lawyer, and still owes me for paying her rent 1 entire semester. I read her the invoice word for word and told her exactly what I wanted. She was silent for 5 seconds, then started laughing so hard she had to put the phone down. When she came back, she said, "This is the most beautiful, evil, completely bulletproof thing I've ever heard. I'm writing the notarized letter right now that removes you from all liability and confirms the co-signers stay on the hook forever." By 11 p.m., she emailed me the perfect legal document. Day 3, the third call, I found a mobile notary who works holidays for triple pay. I sent him a $500 up front through Venmo and booked him for New Year's Eve morning at 9 a.m. sharp. Day 4, at the shopping and wrapping, I went to the most expensive gift wrap boutique in the city. I bought the biggest silver box they had, metallic paper that cost $45 a roll, and a giant red velvet bow that looked like it belonged on a Lamborghini. I wrapped it myself, slowly, perfectly, tied the bow so big it barely fit through my front door. Inside, on black velvet, I placed the 25,000 cashier's check, the new title in Chloe's name, only Sarah's notarized letter, a printed copy of the email I would send the dealership at exactly 10:00 a.m. New Year's Eve, every night I sat on my couch with a glass of wine, staring at that silver box glowing under my Christmas lights, and I smiled the coldest, calmest smile of my entire life. I wasn't angry anymore. I was free. I rehearsed every single word I would say when Chloe read the letter out loud. I practiced the exact second I would hit play on the little remote to show the dealership confirmation on their 75-inch TV. I even picked the red dress I would wear, the one that made me feel unstoppable. New Year's Eve morning I woke up, got my hair and makeup done at the salon, put on that red dress, and loaded the silver box into my paid-off Honda like it was the most precious thing in the world. My heart wasn't racing. It was perfectly still. Because for the first time in 25 years, I wasn't walking into that house to pay a bill. I was walking in to close an account forever. Part 5 is coming. 11:55 p.m., the moment Chloe tore open the box in front of everyone and the entire room froze. You're not ready for how perfectly silent it got. New Year's Eve, 11:42 p.m. I pull into the driveway in my quiet little Honda. The house is lit up like a Christmas tree that never came down. Through the windows I can see the whole family already tipsy on champagne, laughing, taking selfies in front of the tree. Chloe is running in and out the front door in a tiny silver dress, posing next to her white BMW like it's already fully paid for. I step out of the car carrying the giant silver box. The second they spot it, every single conversation stops. 20 heads turn at once. Finally, every eye in that house is on me. Chloe squeals, "Oh, Gemma, ODM and I's tad far me." Mom's hands fly to her mouth, tears already starting. Dad raises his glass and shouts, "That's my big girl, always taking care of her family." They think it's cash. Stacks and stacks of cash. I walk in smiling the sweetest, calmest smile I have ever worn in my life. I set the box gently on the coffee table like it's made of glass. The room smells like pine, champagne, and pure greed. At exactly 11:55 p.m. the countdown clock on TV is ticking. I stand up, tap my champagne flute with a spoon, and the entire house goes quiet. Before we ring in the new year, I say softly, "I have one final Christmas gift for my beautiful, talented, perfect little sister Chloe." I hand her the box. She rips into it like a wild animal, paper flying everywhere, bow tossed across the room. Phones come out. Everyone is recording. Aunts are crying happy tears. Dad is yelling, "That's my girls." She lifts the lid, and the air gets sucked out of the room. Inside, arranged on black velvet like jewelry, a cashier's check for exactly $25,000 made out to the dealership, the brand new vehicle title showing the BMW now 100 send in, Chloe Thompson. Only Sarah's notarized legal letter, stamped, and one crisp printed email sitting right on top. I look at Chloe, still smiling, and say in the sweetest voice, "Go ahead, Chloe. Read the email out loud so everyone can hear how much your big sister loves you." Her hands shake so badly the paper rattles. Her voice cracks on the very first word as she reads my letter to the entire room. "Dear Finance Manager, please accept the attached $25,000 payment and immediately remove Emma Thompson from any and all liability on this loan. Transfer full ownership and all future responsibility to Chloe Thompson only. Co-signers Linda and Mark Thompson remain fully liable. Any future missed payments, late fees, collections, repossession, or deficiency balance will affect only Chloe Thompson and the co-signers. Emma Thompson has zero obligation now or ever. Thank you and Happy New Year. Emma Thompson." You could have heard snow falling. Mom's champagne glass slips from her fingers and explodes on the hardwood floor. Dad's face turns ghost white. Chloe looks up at me with huge, terrified eyes and whispers, "Emma, what did you just do?" I raise my glass to the whole room. Voice crystal clear so every phone catches it. "I paid the exact $25,000 you asked for, just like I always have. But now the car is 100% Chloe's baby. And Mom and Dad, you're still the co-signers. So if little princess here misses even one single payment, it tanks all 3 of your credit scores, not mine. Happy New Year, family." I press the little remote in my pocket. The 75-inch TV lights up with the dealership's confirmation email. Time stamped 10:03 a.m. that morning. Title transfer complete. Emma Thompson fully removed from loan. Co-signers remain. Payment accepted. The countdown starts. 10:98. Chloe screams, "You can't do this." Dad lunges toward me yelling, "Fix it right now." Mom is sobbing, "This will lose the house again." I sip my champagne, smile, and say, "Family helps family, right?" I helped. Now you get to help Chloe keep her dream car. Good luck. The ball drops. Fireworks explode on TV. Everyone else in the country is kissing and cheering. In our living room, my family is screaming while I walk out the front door smiling, get in my paid-off Honda, and drive away into the new year. That night I blocked every single one of them on every single platform. And the real revenge was only just beginning. Part 6 is coming: the missed payments, the repossession, the avalanche that buried them alive. You're not ready for how perfectly it all fell apart. Exactly 37 days after New Year's Eve, the first payment on Chloe's came due in 6/8241. I know the exact number because the dealership still had my old email on file for courtesy copies. The reminder landed in my inbox at 8:02 a.m. I opened it, smiled, poured coffee. Chloe didn't pay. Why would she? She had never paid for a single thing in her entire life. Day 38, Z dealership calls Chloe. Straight to voicemail, they call Mom and Dad. Mom picks up, "All sugar, don't worry, the money is coming any day." Day 6, use a late fees kick in. Day 91. The account hits 90 days delinquent and gets reported to all 3 credit bureaus. That one missed payment dropped their scores like a safe off a roof. Dad went from 780 to 693 overnight. Mom from 752 to 665. Chloe's barely existent credit crashed into the low 500s, and that was only the first pebble in the avalanche. 3 months later, Dad tried to refinance the house to help Chloe catch up. Bank laughed and said no. Active delinquency on a car loan, hard pass. 5 months in, Dad's beloved 2012 Silverado, the one he washed every Sunday like it was his child, got repossessed at 20:17 a.m. Tow truck lights lit up the whole street. Neighbors filmed it on their phones. Mom called me from a blocked number, sobbing so hard she could barely breathe. "How could you do this to your own father? He's sitting in the driveway crying over a truck." 6-minute voicemail. I saved it. Didn't reply. 7 months in, Chloe decided the BMW was so last season and ugly now. She stopped driving it, parked it on the street with expired tags. City towed it. Storage fees started stacking like bricks. 9 months in, Mom's nursing license came up for renewal. The state board runs a full financial background check. Renewal denied because of open collections. She lost her 82 Zillows in a year hospital job the same week. Had to take a night shift cashier position for $16 an hour. 11 months in, the dealership sent the final default notice. Vehicle will be repossessed in 14 days unless balance paid in full. Dad sold his golf clubs, his watch, even his childhood coin collection on eBay. Still short $9,000. They tried calling me from 5 different numbers. I let every single one ring out to voicemail. 13 months after New Year's Eve, the white BMW disappeared from the street forever. Sold at auction for $19,000 less than owed. The remaining $18,000 deficiency balance turned into a legal judgment against Chloe and my parents. 14 months in, wage garnishments started hitting Dad's warehouse paycheck. Mom's new cashier job barely covered groceries. 16 months in, their landlord ran a routine credit check for lease renewal on the 4-bedroom house I once saved with my college fund. Denied. They were given 60 days to vacate. 18 months in, they moved into a cramped 1-bedroom apartment above a 24-hour laundromat. The walls are paper thin. Dryers run until 3 a.m. Chloe sleeps on an air mattress in the living room. Dad drives a rusty 2009 Corolla with 225,000 miles. Mom rides the city bus 2 hours each way to work. And every single month, without fail, another collection letter arrives forwarded to me by mistake. I open it, read the new balance, and slide it into the thick folder labeled, "Family Helps Family." I never answered a call. I never sent $1. I never looked back. They did it all to themselves. One spoiled, entitled breath at a time. And I just sat back, watched the life they assumed I would always pay for finally cost them everything, and felt the most perfect peace I have ever known. Part 7, so the final part is coming, where I am today. The Christmas cards they still send, And the one truth that will save someone watching at 3 a.m. Get ready to cry happy tears. Today I am 28 years old. I live in a downtown high-rise condo with floor-to-ceiling windows that look out over a skyline I once thought I would never touch. I drive a paid-off white Tesla that I bought myself the exact day Chloe's BMW was auctioned off. My credit score is 8 or 34. My savings just crossed $300,000. I have been to Greece, Japan, and Iceland is already booked for next summer. I have a golden retriever named Luna who thinks I am the center of the universe. I have friends who would drop everything if I called at 3 a.m. I have peace that no amount of money could ever buy. Every Christmas Eve, without fail, a cheap red and green dollar store envelope shows up in my mailbox. Shaky handwriting on the front, to our Emma. Inside is always the same letter from Mom Lima. Emma, we miss you more than words can say. We are so sorry for everything we did. We were wrong, we see that now. Dad cries every night. Chloe barely leaves her air mattress. We just want our daughter back. Please call us. Love forever, Mom and Dad. Sometimes Chloe adds a little post, I hate that stupid car. I hate what I became. I'm sorry. I rate each one once, slowly, sitting on my balcony while the city lights sparkle below. Luna rests her head on my lap. Then I slide the card into the same thick folder that holds every repossession notice, every wage, garnishment paper, every voicemail transcript, and the auction receipt for the white BMW. I never write back, I never call. I never unblock the numbers, because apologies that only come after the consequences hit are just regret, not change. And here is the truth I need you to hear. The one I wish someone had whispered to me when I was 16 and handing over my birthday money so the lights would stay on. You are allowed to say no. You are allowed to walk away. You are allowed to stop paying for love that was never free in the first place. Real love does not send invoices. Real love does not ignore you on Christmas morning and then text 2 days later asking for $25,000. Real love does not make you shrink so someone else can shine. I spent 25 years believing that if I just gave enough, sacrificed enough, paid enough, they would finally see me. They never did. The moment I stopped giving, I finally saw myself. And that was the most expensive, most beautiful gift I have ever received. So if you are watching this at 3 a.m., curled up in bed, crying because your own family only calls when they need money, if you are terrified that saying no makes you the villain, please hear me. You are not a bad daughter. You are not a bad sister. You are not selfish. You are a human being who deserves to keep the life you worked for. I was once the girl who paid everyone else's bills while eating ramen in a dorm room. Now I eat dinner on a balcony overlooking the skyline, with a dog at my feet and zero guilt in my heart. And I have never slept better. If this story helped even one person close the door that has been draining them dry, then every ignored Christmas, every sleepless night, every tear I cried in that Target aisle was worth it. You are enough, exactly as you are, right now. Thank you for staying with me for this entire hour and a half journey. Thank you for letting me tell the truth out loud. Now go protect the peace you have earned. I love you for being here. If this helped you even a little tonight, hit subscribe. It's free, and it helps me keep bringing you stories that remind you your peace is worth protecting. See you in the next one. You've got a certified monster hit. If this story helped you even a little tonight, please subscribe. It's completely free, and it helps me keep bringing you stories that remind you your peace is worth protecting.